To recap from the affirmative side, our main claim is that from the current $7.25 an hour, workers should make $10 an hour. Our significance claim is that many Americans still live in poverty despite having minimum wage jobs. Our inherency claim is that the money that Americans make at their minimum wage jobs is not enough to support themselves with basic necessities. Our solvency claim is that the minimum wage should be raised to $10. For our first point, despite the U.S. being an extremely wealthy country, a good portion of our population is still living in poverty. It's very prevalent in the United States even today. One of the main indicators of low income is that people deal with food insecurity. In 2015 alone, 45 million low-income Americans used food stamps or SNAP benefits, with an average recipient of this benefit using about $100 and $127 a month. To middle-class families, $127 is not that much, it's just a ticket to Disneyland or a college textbook. But for low-income people, this is their dinner for the month, or seeing if their family has enough nutrients to survive. Since Americans are not equipped with the right amount of income to support themselves, they must turn to government aid for the basic necessities like groceries due to their low wages. My opponent mentions that if we raise the minimum wage, many workers would lose their benefits. But benefits cover 130% of the poverty line. So it's possible that many people would still be able to receive these benefits while still earning above the current minimum wage. So even if we increase their incomes, these families can still be considered low income enough to receive their benefits that they need. And many of these families struggle to support their children on minimum wage. About 1/4 of minimum wage workers are parents. According to the Census Bureau, the U.S. Census Bureau, 18% of children in the United States live in poverty. Children are spending a lot of their most important time in their development without the resources they need to become successful. They're deprived of healthy food, learning materials like books, and health resources that they need to grow healthy and happy. This is an unfortunate situation that many parents can work full-time jobs, yet their children are not being properly cared for. And since the poverty rate is set at $23,050, a family of 4 would need to have 62 hours of work just to make it barely above the poverty line. This would mean that both of the parents would need to work jobs, or a single parent would need to take on 2 jobs in order to just make the poverty line. And for our inherency, wages are a definite income into a family's socioeconomic status. Throughout the years, minimum wage has not kept up with inflation. It has not raised since 2009. And since the wage has gone up by numbers, but the real wage is a wage that is adjusted for inflation each year. And it shows the buying power of the money. So in 1986, the real wage was about $10.90 per hour, while in 2016, the real wage was about $6.90 per hour. So this means if you worked the same job in the 80s, you would be able to afford a better lifestyle than you are now. And minimum wage is not a living wage. A living wage is considered to be what a family needs to sustain their basic needs like financial independence, housing, and food security. A family of 4 must work 77 hours to make a livable wage. With a family working this much, they would need to take on 1 or 2 jobs, and they would also have to have additional expenses like childcare, transportation, because they're working these jobs. So this shows that even a bare bones barely comfortable lifestyle is unreachable on a minimum wage, or at least very difficult. And it can hurt their financial situation in the long term, because even these people who are making minimum wage cannot have any savings in case they need some in the future. States that use the federal minimum wage have high poverty rates. As of 2016, the two states with the highest poverty rates were Mississippi and Louisiana, both states being set at the federal minimum wage, with Mississippi having a poverty rate of 21% and Louisiana having a poverty rate of 20%. Or solvency. The minimum wage should be raised to $10. An increase in minimum wage would reduce poverty by providing families with a higher income. An economics professor at the University of Massachusetts Duvay constructed a paper in which he analyzed the data of low-income families from the U.S. Census and used these statistics to project if we raise the minimum wage. And he concluded that even a 10% increase in the minimum wage would reduce poverty by 2.1%. With a policy change of just 10%, the bottom percentile of workers can expect to make about $525,000 more in annual income. A higher wage can raise people out of poverty. According to the 2014 Congressional Budget Office report, increasing the minimum wage to only $9 would lift 300,000 people out of poverty, and an increase of $10 would lift 900,000 people out of poverty. This shows that there's an improvement if the minimum wage is raised, that we could decrease poverty. So, in conclusion, the federal minimum wage being increased to $10 an hour from the current $7.25 has the potential to reduce America's poverty problem. Thank you.